Alright, we're back. So, last video, if you remember, we had written an ad for this specific avatar, and I have the results. That is this specific ad set. This specific ad. Yes. So, the results, actually, I have to first see how long I actually let it run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. The buying intent is strong. The last 7 days. The same anyway. Okay. Frequency is not high, but it's not like also not low. What do I mean? For this amount of spend, I don't like this frequency. This tells me people are clicking off here. But you lose them in the leads. Can I also see the headline that got the most spent? My husband fell last week. Which is this one. Broke his hip. Oh. Almost broke his hip. Okay. Love it. Why don't I have the headline here? Why is that headline not here? Let me just pull it up because I love it. My husband. No. I might have actually written this one myself. That's likely why I haven't put it. So, my husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. What the doctor told me, no one told me before. I like that headline. It's like so. It creates that curiosity. Why do we lose them in the lead? Also, the orders are here, if you see. By the way, I believe one of the orders is not tracked. I have to check it first. 1, 2, 3. Okay, between the 6th and 12th. We need to be precise here. 6th till the 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 orders. Oh yeah, one is not tracked. Not a big deal, but the add to cart ratio is crazy. So that is telling me that we have hit something. Last 7 days. Nope, not this one. Last 7 days. 24 add to cart, 18 checkout initiated, 6 checkout. Checkout ratio low, from my experience, means either of those 3 things. First of all, not enough urgency. Do I believe that? I don't think it's enough urgency. But also, it's a belief problem. They don't really believe that this is the solution. And we're going to analyze the copy. And we're going to just basically... I estimate it's likely we haven't really eliminated the alternatives first. Or we haven't built the problem properly. So, 24-16. Add to cart ratio really strong. Checkout initiative, like I said, phenomenal. But not a lot of people are buying. So, let's read the copy together. And then actually, can I just have a look of the CTR first? 4%. Not bad, not bad. €2 cost per click, not bad. These, by the way, don't matter, but it gives me extra insight about how good the copy might be. I say might because you can have 0.5% CTR and crush it basically. 7, 25, 15, blah blah blah. CPM $63. What are the images we've used? Okay, I like the images. Not bad. Okay. So, I'd like to first make a few hypotheses. Actually, I should use a Google Sheet for this, but I never do because I like to do it from the top of my mind. Which is not really smart, to be honest. I'm a bit lazy with this, to be honest. I just like to like write it here. Okay. A few reasons why this copy couldn't scale. First of all, the problem build-up. What is the unique mechanism of the problem we created, we revealed, and what is the unique mechanism of the solution we have introduced, and how have we addressed the existing beliefs about the unique mechanism of the problem and the solution. Okay. Let's preventing false. That's what they want. This is, by the way, already urgent desire, which already translates into high add to cart ratio. Okay. Okay. Husband gets dizzy when standing. That's the experience. Okay. Actually, something very stupid I've done, which I just realized. We have this experience in the hook, but why did I repeat it here? It's irrelevant, because this is our best hook. Fell last week, almost broke his hip. What the doctor told me, no one told me before. Alright, we are claiming. I've made this mistake over and over again, and I keep making it. Basically, when you make a claim, you need to prove the claim, even if you have authority. Like, I can't, like, for example, let's imagine I'm a doctor, and I'm saying, like, you're vitamin D deficient, you're vitamin C deficient, you're, like, vitamin E deficient, you're everything deficient, without ever blood testing you, without ever, like, checking you, just by looking at you. What would you think? You would say, I'm full of shit. Or, like, some people wouldn't even think, but, like, most people would say, you're full of shit. So the fact, and by the way, that's if when you have authority. I hope you get the point. We don't have authority because I'm not a doctor here. I'm just a regular guy with an orange profile photo here, profile picture here, that's making crazy claims. And like this one, this is not a claim. This is basically saying this happened to me. But this is a claim. You're saying a doctor told me X, and no one told me this before. So what is that? And then, yeah, I see the issue. I see the issue there. We need to, we don't need to explain the unique mechanism of the problem here directly, but we need to hint at something that makes sense, and like a new information, basically. We need to hint at that new information quickly. Because we haven't done that quickly, we have lost credibility a little bit. But let's read it further. He'd been getting dizzy every time he stood up. I thought it was just blood pressure. And then last week, while I was the grocery store, fell in the hallway and couldn't get up. Okay. I was getting dizzy and afterwards for no sewage. Okay. Okay. I'm 68. Jim is 72. He's been a blood pressure for 2 years. That's when it. Okay. First. Okay, this is not even a problem, by the way. This is the problem. Specifically. Yeah. That's it. We're making a claim about that blood pressure medications causes dizziness, which is true, but at this point we can't say that because we haven't, like, the thing is that sentence must come from an authority figure and it needs to make sense. In this example, it's doing too much. It's triggering skepticism. And just in the morning he grabbed the nightstand. I'm fine, he said, just stood up too fast. Then it was every time. After meals, getting on. Okay, well, why do you repeat that? Yeah, but you already put, like, did I write this myself, by the way? I must have. Because I get the logic, but yeah, we need to iterate this. Then it was every time after meals, getting up from his chair, sway. We need to get to the point quicker. Okay, great. They get tops. Maybe find him said, I'll just sit and watch TV. The checkout, like, too long. We need to have this in the lead already, by the way. Man, this is far risky with your home with a husband. It takes too long to get to the. I'm bored. Like, it took how long? At least 10, 15 sentences before we could get to he is at the ER. But the hook already promised them they're at the ER. Yeah. Yeah, for about 2 weeks, it's been changed. Like something, this is doing a lot of what? Yes, it's not all day long. I want to run a full electrolyte workup. Out of nowhere. His sodium is low, and I suspect potassium magnesium. Okay. Wrong gradualization. Okay. Wrong gradualization because we shouldn't even mention that. We first need to introduce, like, you need to introduce one idea per one idea. We need to introduce one idea per idea. What have we done here? Let me just read it again, because like this is also a big learning moment for myself. I'm definitely gonna take notes. My husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. What the doctor told me, no one told me before. First of all, the wording could be even better, but like, anyways. He'd been getting dizzy every time he stood up. I thought it was his blood pressure. Then last week while I was at the grocery store, he fell in the hallway and couldn't get up. What ER doctor told me after he's getting dizzy, I know from sooner. I like to check the research first. Again, not needed. This can stay. Eating low carb, eating high carb, taking BP meds. We need to introduce the core idea of that blood pressure medication depletes electrolytes, and if you don't replace them, okay, there's a big skepticism here because, like, why did no doctor told me this before? Because it's invisible in blood tests. We need massive authority to do that, to make that claim. Massive authority, and it also needs to make sense. So how am I gonna structure both? It's hard. Dizziness upon standing. Takes insulin. Sedentary. Stay close to him. Okay. Should tell him he's online to go to pee. Boom. They tell him it's because he's getting up too quickly. Okay. So we can address this objection already, by the way. This is something. This is an experience, but it's also more like a belief they have. Like, experience creates belief, and belief creates blah blah blah. Okay. About the high frequency, not high, but like, I don't like how the frequency is currently at this spend. It's likely because the lead doesn't appeal to a large demographic, large group of people. And how to make it appeal to a large group of people, we need to change the mindset we're starting from. What do I mean with mindset? My husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. This is an unaware angle. Basically, like any angle, any ad you write, where you don't directly, like, I like to segment it as like direct approach and indirect approach. But with direct approach, you can always, that's basically problem aware, solution aware, you can always call out the problem or the persona who has the problem and then introduce the solution. With this one, we need to create a problem. What is the problem? Which it is electrolyte deficiency. Before we can create that problem, we need to first validate their symptoms, their emotions, their behaviors, their beliefs. And if we don't do that in the right, like if we miss one of this, like the whole ad fails because they realize it's full of shit. So the sad reality is, like, this is real. It's not like we're lying. Blood pressure medication definitely deplete electrolytes, and if you have low electrolytes, you will get dizzy, and if you are dizzy, you will fall, and you have a chance of breaking your hip. So even though it's real, we need to be able to communicate it. So it's not about what's reality, it's about how you can communicate it to this group of people. And what we have done, we have been able to communicate it decently, but not good enough, because otherwise we would be able to scale. And I likely had switched products already for the sake of the series. Like after we hit 1K a day, I believe 1K a day, maybe 2K a day. Like I need to see consistent 1K a day, 1K a day, 1K a day. Then I'm gonna like switch to a custom formula and stop refilling people. Okay. Can I also see the demographic, like the age group that's actually got spent? Okay, makes sense. 65 plus women. Makes sense. That's the main demographic we saw in our research. What the doctor told me, no one told me before. The wording of this headline is horrible, but because we communicate the core emotion of this, the wording doesn't really matter. Every time he stood up. I actually need another tab. Okay, let's do it like this. Workday here, left, right, here. Because I need to take notes while I'm speaking. I hope you can see it. Let me just pull my... Okay. Phil last week almost broke his hip, but the doctor told me. No one told me before. Told me. Almost broke his hip. Almost broke his hip. This is the core fear, by the way. This is the core desire we communicate. We communicate the inverse of the desire, which is like breaking your hip, like falling. But the desire this appeals to is basically this one. But how should I like... That might be a bit a long one. The thing is, I like short headlines more, but like long headlines also perform. Because like when you think about mobile feed, most people will see till here. And then they will click see more to read the further. And then they're hooked. So, stood up. This is like too soft, by the way. What if we open up directly with okay. To call 911 himself. It was just the blood pressure. That's very weak. This line is very weak. So I like to replace that with something I saw here. I can't remember it. Not that, not that, not that. This. I'd like to include that there. So, my husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. What the doctor told me about why he keeps getting dizzy, no one told me before. I'd like to hit at the terror and the fear of it a little bit more, like twisting the knife a little bit. in the lead and then directly get to the point. So start with twisting the knife about the horror, like keep it visceral, make it like he fell in the hallway and couldn't get up, he had to call 911 himself, etc., etc. Like really hit at that, like really hook the prospects for reading. And then the ER doctor, like directly we just go into that about the fact that many people do think are told, like many people are being told that they keep getting dizzy because they get too fast up. They just stood up fast, and so they're being told to drink more water, that they're dehydrated, and nobody's telling them that they're making the problem worse. After that, I'd like you to take a look at the research about what these people already believe causes the problem, and then go one by one of those problems. So that could be getting up too fast, drinking not a lot of water, something else you might see in the research. And then introduce the unique mechanism of the problem, which is basically electrolyte imbalances. And electrolyte imbalances happen because, first of all, they are on blood pressure medications, they are old. Like, we need to combine all the root causes together. Blood pressure medication makes it worse. If you're old, you already have less kidney efficiency, if I'm correct. You might check that out yourself. And then, like the doctor basically tells this, but then afterwards, after they've told us, they actually do an electrolyte checkup to validate this, and basically his sodium's critically low, magnesium and potassium as well. So it's like they're deficient in some things, and the root cause this happens is because nobody tells them to replace those electrolytes. And also a brief explanation of how critical electrolytes are would be phenomenal. And then the biggest factor, which is gonna make them angry, that most doctors don't notice because the problem is invisible, and that's why it's killing so many Americans. Like around, you can pull up some statistics here. I don't know. Maybe like 20% of deaths in the USA happens because of falls. And this is like a big contributor. Okay, so for two reasons he's deficient, we said. Blood pressure medications, and then drinking more water. That's a failing advice, by the way. And the third reason is likely older age. If this is true, by the way. If it's not true, you don't have to include it. And then address the objection of salt. That salt does only give sodium, but you need all three combined. And then they're being told that they should try electrolyte supplements. They try a few ones. It gets worse because the ingredients matter, the formula matters. And then they have tried one marketed specifically for people who fall, which is Workday. And then transformation benefits, etc., etc., etc. So, that is a big improvement, I believe. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm going to the toilet very quickly. Alright, we're back. Back with San Pellegrino. Just a small moment. Yes, sir. So, my glasses. Also, it's very boring. So I'm gonna change the colors a bit. Yeah. Nah. That's better. So let's go real quick. Actually, it makes sense why this. I realize why this is a way better headline. I mean, like this one, compared to this one, because this headline is trying to achieve too many stuff at the same time. If you remember, if you have read Breakthrough Advertising, you know, maybe you've heard of this definition, that the headline's only job is to stop the right prospect. The keyword is the right prospect, but it's to stop the right prospect. Basically, it's not to activate desire. It's not to introduce product. It doesn't need to sell. It's just to introduce. It's just to stop the right prospect. Like how? Like which headline stops the right prospect? The right prospect is this. Like wives over 60 plus, 65 plus, that want to prevent their husband falling and breaking something, just saving their life basically. And this is the problem they're dealing with. This is the emotion they feel, and they never leave them alone. Like this is too many stuff at the same time. It helps us get specific, but sometimes like too specificness doesn't help, especially too like being too specific in the headline. That's why like simple, plain, and like preventing false like works way better. Now, oh yeah, in this oh that's very easy. That's gonna be hot. That's gonna be easy. We already made the ad in this chat. So Claude, I have rewritten the ad we just wrote together, and I want you to like rewrite the whole ad based on my instructions. All right. My husband. Okay. That looks crazy. Love it. Yeah, that's fine. My husband fell last week and was broken, and I talked to him about why he kept getting dizzy. No one told me before. This is promise of introducing a new mechanism about why he keeps getting dizzy. I was at the grocery when it happened. Like you see the connection. I also often forget this. Like the headline, like what I just said, the headline's only job is to stop the right prospect, right? And its only job then after that is make them read the second sentence. That's basically the connection between these two. Like you can't just say here anything and then randomly start it. Like the thing, they need to be connected. If we look at this ad, you see, my husband from last week I almost broke his. Well, the doctor told me no one told me before. The reader expects what the doctor is gonna say afterwards, but you say he's been getting dizzy, and then you repeat it, and then you tell a whole story disconnected from the headline. That's why it likely doesn't scale, and also doesn't convert consistently. Because all right, I had to take a quick break. I left it here. My husband from last week almost broke his hip. What the doctor told me about it, why he keeps getting dizzy, no one told me before. I was at the grocery store when it happened. Phenomenal connection. Okay, Jim fell in the hallway, hard, phenomenal. That's like peak visceral. He couldn't get up, couldn't reach his phone, had to drag himself. Like imagine how of an image that creates in the reader's mind. Phenomenal, I love it. He called 911 himself. I'm excited. By the time I got to the hospital, he had a gash above his eyebrow and a bruise spreading across the entire hip. The paramedic said if he'd landed 2 inches to the left, his hip would have shattered. He's 72 years old. A broken hip at his age, I don't even want to think about what that would have meant. The ER doctor came in and started asking questions I'd had 100 times before. Does he get dizzy when he stands up? Yes, every single time, for 2 years now. And what does the regular doctor say about it? That he's standing up too fast, that he needs to drink more water, that he's probably dehydrated. Phenomenal belief handling. She nodded like she'd heard this exact story before. Let me guess, she said. You've been making sure he drinks water all day long. I nodded. That's the problem, she said. You're making it worse. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. What do you mean worse? His doctor told us. I know what his doctor told you, she interrupted. And I'm telling you that advice is killing people. Ooh, new idea. Big claim. Big talk. We need to prove that ASAP. She pulled out a piece of paper and started writing. Everyone thinks that dizziness when standing is about dehydration or standing up too fast. So they're told to drink more water, move slower, be careful, but that's not fixing the root cause. It's making the problem worse. We're not just saying that's the wrong problem, we're saying that makes another problem. That makes the problem worse. I love it. This is, by the way, winning structure. Here's what's really happened, she said. Your husband is on blood pressure medication, correct? I nodded. Lisinopril, for 2 years. That medication flushes electrolytes out of his body. This is new information. Out of his body every single day. Sodium, potassium, magnesium. These are the minerals that allow his blood vessels to squeeze tight when he stands up. Okay, whoa. We need to slow down there. Okay. Just push blood from his leg back up to his brain. We can expand that a bit. Not a bit, like a lot. Because if this piece doesn't click, I'm talking too much. I should just read it. Without them, blood just pulls up his legs. His brain doesn't get oxygen. That's the dizziness. That's why he falls. But he drinks water all day. That's making it worse, he said again. When your electrolytes are already low, adding more water dilutes them even further. It's like watering down juice that's already too weak. You're washing out the few minerals he has left. She looked at me. No one tells you this. Your regular doctor checks his blood work, sees his sodium looks normal, and sends you home. But here's the problem. Standard blood tests miss this entirely. What do you mean they miss it? Most of your body's potassium and magnesium is stored inside your cells, not in your blood, she explained. Blood tests only show what's floating around in your bloodstream. Your husband could be severely deficient and his blood work would be perfectly fine. That's why doctors miss it. That's why people keep falling. And she wrote down something on her clipboard. And there's a third reason he's deficient. Age. As you get older, your kidneys don't hold on to minerals as well. Okay. Love it. They let him slip through. So even if he wasn't on medication, he'd still be depleting faster than someone younger. She paused. Combine blood pressure medication with age and drinking lots of plain water, you're creating the perfect storm for falls. And falls kill people. About 36,000 older adults die from falls every year in the US. Most of them had the same dizziness your husband has, and most of them were never told about this. I felt sick. What about salt? I asked. We started adding more salt to his food months ago. Another belief, another existing solution. Table salt only gives you sodium, she said. You need all three, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. They work together. If you're only replacing sodium, you're still deficient in the other two. She looked at Jim. I'm going to run a full electrolyte panel, not the standard one. The comprehensive one that actually shows what's inside your cells. Now we prove our claim. Like we have at least 3 proof elements. The first proof element is that it comes from a doctor. The second proof element is the explanation of how it works in your body. The third proof element is literally this check, this electrolyte panel check. Not the standard one. The comprehensive one that actually shows what's inside your cells. 30 minutes later, she came back with the results. His sodium is critically low, potassium and magnesium too. She sat down. This is why he's falling. His body literally cannot respond when he stands up. There's nothing there to make his blood vessels squeeze, nothing to push the blood back up to his brain. What do we do? I asked. You need to replace his electrolytes, he said. Try an electrolyte supplement, but not just any supplement. The formula matters. Most of them don't have nearly enough of what you actually need. This is why I need to do a custom formula. She would never find your pre-brand names. I left the hospital and went straight to the pharmacy. Bought the first one on her list. Jim took it every day for 2 weeks. Nothing changed. Still dizzy every morning. I bought a different brand. One marketed for hydration. 2 more weeks. Still grabbing furniture every time he stood up. I was starting to think this wasn't going to. I love this copy. Then my daughter texted me, "Mom, try this one, Workday. My friend's dad had the same problem. This is the only one that worked." I was skeptical what they already tried to, but I ordered it. When it arrived, I looked at the label. The difference was obvious. The other brands barely had anything in them, just trace amounts. Workday had the exact actual levels your body needs. She doesn't have the medical knowledge to explain this. Actually, maybe she might have because she has been through it. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. If it affects conversion ratio, we can make another test. But this is more like conversion optimization thinking. Like if they believe in the problem, if they believe in the solution, you can make small adjustments to increase conversion ratio. But like right now, we don't even get sales, so it's not a big concern. Jim started taking it every morning. Day 3, so from table day, first time in months, no dizziness getting out of bed. Week 2, he walked to the mailbox by himself. I did not rush. I came home and he was standing in the kitchen making coffee. I forgot what this felt like, he said, standing up and thinking about it. Boom. 2 months later, by the way, I said we wrote this ad for 65 plus people for the caregiver. And that's what the data tells us. But I believe if we scale this, we might even reach 20%, 30% maybe of the people who are actually experiencing this problem, because they're also afraid of falling. So that might be something useful to know, because we might just create an ad directly for them. But that's a separate avatar. Like, I can't stop my mind. It keeps thinking about stuff it shouldn't think. Blah blah blah. Because if you're going to give any feels of blood pressure medication, if you have been told he's probably critically deficient in electrolytes and no one is telling you. I'm leaving a link below to Workday. Okay, it doesn't even feel like you're selling. It feels like there's something urgent you need to know, and I'm leaving a link below so you can fix this. If you're someone told me 2 years ago, but I'm telling you now, phenomenal. This is phenomenal. It's exactly as I want it to be. Exactly. And the reason it's so good is because like we've literally like basically this is basically writing everything. Now I'm gonna launch this one. I'm gonna keep this video short, some 30-40 minutes. Actually, I might test another angle. Broke his hip. We can do broke his neck. Broke his, I don't know, something else. And then broke almost his hip. What doctor told him about why he kept getting dizzy? No one told me before. Happened. Jim fell in the hallway hard. He couldn't get up. Couldn't reach his phone. He himself a gash above his eyebrow. What is a gash, by the way? Okay, I'm just going to this is probably start if it his hip would have shattered. Love it. Does he get dizzy when he stands up? Yes, every single for 2 years now. Okay, now I want a few different ways to say the same thing. Say the same thing. Fell last week. Not bad. The 911 should be in the copy, not in the headline. I couldn't get that. Phenomenal. Dr. Fine explained why he gets dizzy and why. Whoa! That's a headline. That's a hook. My husband nearly shattered his hip last Tuesday. Now, he fell while I was at the store. Relatable scenario. I said, why he keeps getting dizzy, his regular doctors never mentioned. This is also a different type, because most people go to regular doctors, and the ER doctors have, like, in this example, a higher authority. So that might work, but like it's doing too much at the same time. It's doing too much at the same time. He fell while I was at the store. Yeah, I like this one more, actually, to be honest. And then last week my husband hit the floor and couldn't stand. Okay. The real reason he's been dizzy for years. It started actually great. I'm gonna skip it. My husband almost broke his hip, and what the doctor finally told me about his dizziness should have been said years ago. Phenomenal. Almost broke his hip. Almost broke his hip. Almost broke his hip. Should we include fell? No, because like the image already communicates that a bit, and we already have other headlines that actually hits at that. So to properly A/B test, I'm gonna leave it as is. He's been dizzy for 2 years. He fell last week. Okay, this is also great. What they told me with the regular doctor. Phenomenal. Fell and nearly broke his hip. Husband fell and nearly broke his hip. Fell and nearly broke his hip. Doctor explain why he gets dizzy. I don't even know I told before. This is also not bad. We need to eliminate a few one. We can do maximum of 5. Actually, we can do more by launching more AdSense, but like to keep it simple, I think like 5 headlines are enough. But I'm gonna like pick a few other one that I like. After my husband's fall last week. After my husband's fall, it's not like this specific event deserves more attention. That's why I don't like it. This is too quick. My husband fall last almost broke his hip. What they told me about his dizziness could save your husband's life. Could save your husband's life. Why are these headlines so good? It's fun. It's crazy. He fell in the hallway last Tuesday. No, husband nearly broke his hip falling. What the ear doctor told. No, it's too specific. Yeah, but also like it can be like you need to know this. You need to know this. You need to know those hints that like it's too desperate. My husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. No. Dizzy? No one ever told us. This is also phenomenal. Okay, we need to eliminate a few one. I'm likely gonna eliminate the ones. I don't know which one I'm gonna eliminate. I'm gonna keep this because like this is like a small iteration of the winner. So this still improves that version and we still test it. Those are completely different headlines, but still work with the same leads. No. So good. Fall last week and had to call 911 himself. And had to call 911. If you say 911 himself, it's more like it makes it too long. No one. Yeah, I'm gonna paste this as well. We have too many headlines. A good problem to have, by the way. Fell while I was at the store. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need to eliminate 3 headlines. The first one, this one is very boring. He fell in the hallway and couldn't get up. Like the couldn't get up does so much work here. I love this so much. Almost broke his hip. I don't like that people are falling, but like my husband almost broke his lip. Almost broke his hip. And what? His hip. Nah, this is not even a sentence, by the way. Fell and nearly broke his hip. My husband fell last week. My husband fell last week and almost broke his hip. Okay, so I had to call 911. No. Okay, that is it, I guess. Now we're just gonna launch this ad, and I believe I'm gonna make an update around. I believe like if you have other like video ideas, I would love to do them, because like I don't want to keep bothering people with this long videos. If you have other ideas, I would be open to hear them, so I can like make something else instead of this. But I like this, to be honest. I really like this series. This one. Copy, paste, line breaks, reject all, always. Copy to clipboard. This one can go. This one can come back. Bam, bam, bam. Sure. No one told me before. Okay, copy, paste. Now the first headline. Copy, paste. The images I'm gonna leave as is, because the image has one job, which is to get attention, and I believe these images are like, they're very good at getting attention. This is the key part that changes everything. Okay, the third headline. Also, one thing I haven't really looked at, we also need to look at headline placements so we can make better headline placements. I mean, like, this is the headline placement. This is the hook, also the headline, but like this has more scroll stopping power. This is just like an additional headline that calls out the right avatar, and it's mainly very broad. I like to keep it very broad and very curiosity creating. Okay, now we have 5 unique false secrets. Okay, ads manager, and then ads, this one, maximum, asshole, filter only selected rows, and then dynamic headline. He had to call 911. It's phenomenal. Makes sense. Makes sense. And the other ones, why your husband keeps falling. Okay. Why he gets dizzy when standing. Okay. He had to call 911. Okay. I'm gonna leave it as is. There's no clear outlier because they're all hitting at the same avatar. Okay. Then I'm gonna launch this, and then I hope to see you back in 3-4 days, maybe 7 days, depending. Like, if we get crazy performance, I'm gonna make an update on day 3. If not, I'm gonna wait until 7 to 8 days, and then I'm gonna make an update. I hope you liked it, and like, by the way, this doc is down below. I always leave it online, so people, like, someone is like, even someone is already live, so you can always check this out. Yeah. If this angle works, like I promised, I'm gonna scale to 1K a day. If it works, I'm gonna scale it to 1K a day, and then I'm gonna shut down the store so I can make some extra money. And I might not like close the store. I might just stop running the ads and just find new winners. So that's the basic idea. Like, one product, multiple winners. So I might even do the research here and actually run the brand myself. But then I expose myself to competitors. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter really. Alright. So, that's it. Is it live? It should be live. It should be. Yes. Turn on. Yes, I just turned it on. This can turn back off. Alright. Campaign is on. 75 euros a day. We can, by the way, increase the budget to 100 a day. Just because. Like, 75 also works fine, but like, I'd like to get that data faster. So, blah blah blah. Okay. Are we live? Yes. Alright, I'm gonna close it here. Thank you for watching, and peace out.